Hey guys, this is Win and welcome back to another video. We have so much to talk about today regarding New State Mobile. They just dropped a massive letter to the community that outlines a ton of their plans moving forward and finally addressing a lot of the community's concerns that we've been hearing for months. So first of all, shout out to New State for finally communicating, and it looks like this is going to be something that will happen more frequently as we need to know what's going on and what does the future of this game look like. We have a lot of stuff to unpack today. This is going to be a pretty long video. There's also some big updates on PC PUBG. And the reason that we pay attention to this is because PC PUBG is also made by Krafton, and there's a high chance, or at least a chance, that whatever they do on PC PUBG could one day come to New State Mobile. So they actually mention in this dev letter specific things about PC PUBG that already will be coming to New State, like new items and guns, and even the possibility for PC PUBG maps to come as well. That's right, we may get Vikendi and Miramar in the distant future. They're not working on it now, but if things go well, they could work on it in the future. So a lot of good, hopeful things, and I'm glad to see this level of communication. First of all, I do want to say that in today's video, I think it's okay to kind of criticize the game. Let's really talk about what's good and what's bad. Let's show a little bit of tough love because I love this game, but it's also not really in the best state right now. A lot of the updates recently have not been good. The patch note videos, sometimes they're only like 2 or 3 minutes long, and the best updates for an entire month is that maybe we got a new gun customization and there's like a new weird TDM mode or something. We are not really seeing huge updates to the actual Battle Royale experience. And in this dev letter, you will see that the vast majority, over 75% of players, care about Battle Royale. They have acknowledged recently that Bounty Royale is being closed. They even mentioned in this letter that it was a failure, that this mode failed. I liked it. I thought it was cool. They put a lot of effort into it. I think they thought that Bounty Royale was going to be the next big thing. Unfortunately, it was not. Players care about Battle Royale. Players care about that core PUBG experience that they come to New State for, that is realistic and just like the PC version. That's what players want. We need content that is actually catered and tailored towards the Battle Royale player and the Battle Royale experience, especially in ranked. We don't need a million game modes that are unranked. We don't need 8v8 recruit mode. We don't need siege mode. We don't need a 10th RDM and TDM map. We need main Battle Royale things. So that's my opinion, and I feel like after reading so many replies and comments on Twitter and doing polls and stuff, I feel like that's kind of what a lot of you guys would agree with. And a lot of the data that we'll get into in this dev letter supports that. They show graphs. Players care about Battle Royale. Players do not care about these other frivolous game modes, and they see that. They see all the data. This is something I've been saying for a long time. They have a lot of data. Bro, they know exactly how many bullets we've fired as a billions. You know, they have every single data point, and they're using that data to inform some of their decisions. So it's going to be a long video, like I said. But another thing I want to talk about is, and this will be the only time I really mention PUBG Mobile in this video. I don't think New State should be like PUBG Mobile, but let's just compare them for right now because they're kind of two big Battle Royale games. If you guys remember, PUBG Mobile has been out for 5.5, 6 years, whatever. In the first 2 years, let's be honest, PUBG Mobile did a lot of optimizations. They did a lot of updates to make the game better, and it wasn't until like 2 years in, then they really started rolling big updates, game modes, you know, lots of great content, collaborations and stuff. But, you know, let's not forget, it took PUBG Mobile 2 years to get to that spot. You know, New State, we're coming up on the 2nd anniversary. They've done the similar thing. 2 years of optimizations, updates, really getting the game into a good spot, like mechanically. I think the game feels pretty great. But now it's time to rev up those engines and start putting out good content and good updates that people actually care about and are exciting, right? So luckily though, as we get into this dev letter, you'll see that these are things that they're going to be doing. So I'm hopeful. I do have a lot of hope, and I am feeling more optimistic about the game now after this dev letter than I was before. I've always been a little bit optimistic. I know that they're great devs, but I'm glad they finally put it into a letter and they're sharing their future plans. So without further ado, here are the highlights of this dev letter. First, they say they're going to communicate more. Second, they have weapon balancing and data behind that. Third, there are going to be new guns and items from PC PUBG confirmed coming to New State Mobile. They do touch on and talk about why PC PUBG maps haven't come to New State and their future plans for if they will add PC PUBG maps to New State. They discuss the problems and concerns around matchmaking times taking a long time, some people not finding matches on certain maps, and their possible solutions and what they're working through right now before they implement any of those solutions. They talk about the extreme mode, which was removed and could be possibly coming back. They have plans for that. There are news about upcoming game modes, like actual modes, not just Bounty and Siege, but we'll see. Let's get to that part and see what they say about that. And then they are improving the punishments for hackers and cheaters. They are very aware that that has been a bit of a problem, and I've been seeing tons of hacking clips on Twitter and stuff, so I'm glad they're aware of that, and they are addressing that. So those are all of the key highlights. But first, before we get into all of this New State stuff, I do want to show you a couple quick amazing things coming to PC PUBG, because we need to watch those first, and I think that will better help us understand maybe where New State is going in the future. So check these out, and then we'll talk about them.
Alpha 1 to HQ. Approach. LZ. ETA 30 seconds. Over.
Copy that, Alpha 1. You're entering uncharted territory. Be ready for anything. Over.
Roger that, HQ. Alpha 1, out.
Look alive, survivors. We're at the drop zone. Prepare to jump. On my count. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so what you guys just saw, obviously, was a new 10th map coming to PC PUBG and a really awesome rework coming to Erangel for several locations. It looks like maybe Watertown is now like a dock area, and Stalber is now like this really sick, dense observatory that could really make that be a hot drop. So we could see these things come to New State. Maybe a 10th map, a PC PUBG map. They say that they are going to have some PC PUBG maps potentially coming to New State. They even reference later in this dev letter that there will be a new map. So that we know there's going to be a new map. We just don't know if it's a dedicated map for just New State, a brand new one we've never seen before, or if it is a PC PUBG map. We also don't know if that map could be a PC PUBG map that exists now. I just did a poll. You guys really wanted Vikendi as the next one, or it could be a PC PUBG map that's not out yet, because there are new maps even coming to PC PUBG that we've never seen yet before. So who knows? But I just wanted to show you guys those PC PUBG updates, because a lot of that stuff could also get sprinkled into New State in the coming months and years. So now that we know about that, let's get into this dev letter once and for all and discuss everything that is in here. So first off, they have said, we hear you guys. We want to apologize for not communicating more actively. Please understand that our development team has consistently been keeping a close eye on feedback. And I know that's true. I know you guys feel like, oh, they don't really listen to us, but they are listening. It's just a matter of if they reply and tell us they're listening. They've been listening, but now they're finally letting us know, yes, we have been listening, and they would like to share another dev letter, and they actually have plans for a follow-up dev letter, I think in October or November. So this may become a consistent thing that we'll hear from them and actually get clarity on what the heck is going on with New State. Then they talk about weapon balancing, and this is always something funny and interesting that I think they share all this data. We know that like 11% of all knocks come from an M4 and 9% of knocks come from an AKM, like obviously the most popular guns and stuff. Really, when I say they have data, bro, they have data. It's crazy. But as it pertains to weapon balancing, this is something they're always looking at. One thing I should mention, they actually did a huge survey a week or two ago in game. They got all of this information from players. They asked us, how do you feel about balancing? What do you want to see changed? How do you feel about like this or that? They asked all kinds of questions, and that is a lot of that information is actually what is informing their decisions and how they're addressing feedback. I forgot to mention that, but that was a huge part of this was based on that survey 2 weeks ago. So they heard from a lot of us that balancing was a bit of a concern. The Ultima was way too strong. That's getting nerfed. The M249 shield is getting nerfed, I believe. I believe that's the shield C2, and that's coming next month. But one concern I have is that with weapon balancing, like, they do a good job, but then sometimes they just do random things that make absolutely no sense. We saw the Tommy gun get a 75 round customization drum mag. That gun was already broken, and now they're giving 75 bullets to it. That is a huge concern, and it's like, it kind of throws away a lot of their credibility for making smart balancing adjustments, and then they randomly throw out like a balance that makes absolutely no sense. More of like an imbalance that is going to be completely broken in the game. I personally have taken a pretty relaxed approach to balancing. I don't care as much. It's a battle royale game. Some guns are just going to be stronger than others. Guess what? If you want those guns, go find them, you know? It's not like there's an advantage. There's just guns all over the map, all over the floor. Just go pick one up, you know? Like battle royale, it doesn't need to be super balanced like a Call of Duty. But at the same time, you do need balancing because you want variety. If some guns are just way too powerful, then it's going to be PUBG Mobile all over again. Everybody's just going to be running around with an M4, you know? You don't want that. You want there to be variety because you want people to find guns and be able to use them and not just constantly be going for that 75-round Tommy gun, which we're probably going to be seeing abused every single day now. So, I don't know. They just give a lot of information about weapon balancing, the different customization things that come through. A lot of these guns, C1's very popular. Some of these guns don't have a C2. That's why they're completely only C1. But, you know, they have all this data. It's cool that they share it. Number 2, we have the implementation of PC PUBG items. So clearly from this graphic, they're teasing the new Dragunov, the FAMAS, and the Blue Zone grenade. The Blue Zone grenades are actually really sick. I've been watching a lot of like PGS and PNC and some of the competitive PC PUBG gameplay, and the Blue Zone grenade is very OP. You can use it to kind of like flush out like a corner, those final end circle moments. If you know somebody's hiding behind like a little ridge, you can kind of flush them out because that blue zone damage does a lot. It's like final circle damage. You can use it to like thirst a knock or something, kind of clear out a house. It's a really, really cool like mini blue zone, maybe like 10 meters wide. Very interesting utility, and that is now confirmed to be coming to new state, as well as the FAMAS. The FAMAS recently got added to PUBG Mobile. It is, and it was made a crate weapon. So just like PC PUBG, the FAMAS is actually a crate weapon, and this thing shreds, man. Having this also in new state could be very fun for sure. The Dragunov 2 was recently added to PUBG PC, so to get this actually in new state so quickly is a really cool thing, and I hope that that indicates that we're going to see more and more of PC PUBG and new state kind of developing side by side and getting features very similar at the same time. That would be really cool. Number 3, let's talk about the main topic, the deployment of PC PUBG maps in new state. I saw a lot of people getting excited about this, and I have bad news, guys. I think you were misinterpreting what they were saying. People were like, yes, PC PUBG maps confirmed to be coming to new state. They're not confirmed, guys. This might not actually happen. Let me just tell you why. Let me find the exact language. We promise that if the matchmaking environment improves to a point where the addition of large BR maps will not cause any issues, we will resume the efforts of PC port maps. In the meantime, we intend to focus more on strengthening the core aspects rather than adding additional maps. We kindly ask for your understanding. Sorry, additional PC maps. We kindly ask for your understanding. So maybe we are getting a new map. They reference it somewhere in here. I'll find that. But they did confirm that there is a new map coming. That new mode that they mentioned that we'll get to later on, they said it's coming to a new map. Specifically those words, new map. So maybe it won't be a PC map because they said they want to strengthen the core aspects rather than adding additional PC maps. That makes sense. That sentence, we promise that if matchmaking environment improves to a point where the addition of a large BR map will not cause any issues. So right now, they're saying, if we add a large BR map, it's going to cause issues with matchmaking. So One thing that we're going to get to next is the improvement of matchmaking conditions. So they have plans to try to improve that. So it's a multi-tiered process. First, they need to improve matchmaking. Then they can deploy a map. We'll see if that's what happens here. But everybody was taking to Twitter like, hooray! New PC maps confirmed! And it's like, no, guys, that is not what's happening. Read between the lines here. They've received a ton of requests. Part of that survey, they have a loud, resounding feedback from the community. That is, we want PC maps. And I honestly, I'll admit, I was wrong about this. I thought that we wanted new maps we've never seen before. Maps that are new to New State. Make it its own unique thing. But as time goes on, I agree with you guys. I'll admit, I was wrong. I think more PC PUBG maps would be a good thing for New State. I think adding more of these mechanics and items from PC PUBG would be a good thing. Seeing the Blue Zone grenade, I think that's a good thing. The FAMAS, the Dragunov, those seem like good things. I don't think we need to keep making new guns that no one's ever seen before, like the MCX and stuff like that, and the SL8. You know, I think adding PC PUBG stuff is actually improving the game, and it's getting me more excited. When I read these dev letters and stuff, those are actually the things that I'm like more excited about. So I think you guys are right. I was wrong about that, and I hope that they have been working on PC PUBG maps, but it looks like they just stopped. So another key thing here. Again, if matchmaking environment improves, the addition of a large BR map doesn't cause any problems, we will resume the efforts to port PC maps. So does that mean they were working on it and they decided to pause it and then make other maps? Because something fishy was going on behind the scenes, man. They were working on a map, right? They were working on Lagna for like a long time. Then they were like, yo, just kidding. Like, here's a Kinta. And we're like, what? Okay. And then they were like, all right, now we're doing Lagna. Woo. And then a few months later, oh, we made a Kinta bigger. Like, it feels like a Kinta kind of came out of nowhere. Lagna was always kind of being made. And I feel like that was supposed to be an 8x8. And then it kind of like they were like, dang, this is taking so long to make. Let's just make it a 4x4. Because if you guys know math, a 4x4 is not half of an 8x8. It's a quarter of an 8x8. So an 8x8 map is 64 square kilometers. That's huge. So a 4x4 is only 16. That is only 25% of the map. So Lagna was kind of small. And it's funny is a lot of people do not like Lagna. Like they're not like when they reference this matchmaking conditions. I guess we can go down and get to that next point. People were not really queuing for those maps. They are said that they are noticing a concentrated matching of specific maps. People are not even doing the multiple matchmaking. Less than a quarter of players are doing multiple matchmaking. And they tried to get us to do that with, extra tier points and hot time. And you can queue all these maps. People are not doing that. They're picking one map and they're playing that. Over 3/4 of players are doing single matchmaking. So let's read this section. This is a huge concern of the community. Matchmaking conditions have been a problem. Long matching times, not able to find matches for certain things. So they said improving the matchmaking conditions is one of the most urgent issues that our development team is monitoring daily. Regarding matchmaking, there have been two primary suggestions. You guys can probably guess what these are. Random matchmaking, where you just queue and it's like, hey, you know what? We're just going to give you a map. You don't get to pick it. And the other option revolves around map rotation matchmaking, which is like for the next 2 hours, it's Erangel. Then 2 hours later, after that for 2 hours, it's going to be Troy, just Troy. Then after that, it's going to be just 2 hours of Lagna, then just 2 hours of Akinta, and it rotates. So like there's only one map that's active at any given time, and everybody just plays that map. And then like a few hours later or the next day or whatever on a set schedule, it changes maps and rotates. This is actually something that I talked about with them when I went to Korea last November. And something that they were really concerned about was if we do the random matchmaking, they did not want people to be just backing out. Like, oh, I got Lagna again, I'm backing out. Oh, I got a Kinta, I don't want a Kinta, I'm backing out. So they were thinking about, maybe we should implement like a merit system where it's like if you keep backing out, you're barred from matchmaking for 5 minutes. Like some kind of penalty that's going to force people to actually play the matches because they don't want everybody backing out. But at the same time, my opinion is like, hey, look, if everybody's backing out of Lagna, why don't you just take Lagna out of the rotation? Nobody wants to play it. You know what I mean? So if random matchmaking is great, because if it's all maps people like, then they're not going to back out. But you see, the problem is when you put maps in that people don't want, they really wanted players to be able to continue to select their maps, but it's looking like we might not have to do that. because we need to fix this matchmaking crisis that we're seeing right now. As you can see from that data, 78% of people prefer single map matchmaking over multiple matchmaking. Despite the application of tier score bonuses and all that stuff, it just didn't help. Then they get into a little bit more about the issues of starting island, people leaving, and that's going to hurt the lobby if you have all these players backing out, and that's not going to be a great thing. So they're working on figuring this out. They're going to have to pick something. One potential solution they said at the end here is that they're considering various methods of improving the system, including fixed random matching for contender tier and above. So low rank casual players, whatever, you can pick whatever you want. But, you know, if you're getting up in the ranks, you're up with the big dogs, they're thinking about putting some kind of restrictions on there. That way they can really improve matchmaking, which also, read between the lines, its potential solution always means there was a problem there. So it seemed like these matchmaking issues were occurring. Probably my guess would be for contender tier and above. For those higher rank lobbies, that takes a little bit longer to fill. It takes a little more time to find enough players at that high rank, so that way you have a competitive lobby. You're not just filling a contender lobby with a bunch of silver players. That's not fair. We have a rank system for a reason. It was probably in those higher tier lobbies where they were experiencing the bulk of these matchmaking issues. So it makes sense that they were going to implement a solution for that specific part of the community. I think, you know, these are all good things, but we're going to have to see what they ultimately end up doing. But they're aware, right? People have been saying for months, you need to fix this, random matchmaking, or just put all the maps together. I think one solution that I had was like, give us random big map or random small map. I think it'd be, you know, 2 queues. Random big map where it just gives us Erangel or Troy, but we don't get to pick, or random small map where it gives us Lagna or Akinta. So you've got 100 player lobbies, and then you've got 64 player lobbies. Like, let us just pick between those two. That way it kind of consolidates a little bit, but at least if I'm going for big maps, I like Troy, I like Erangel, at least I am not going to be getting Akinta and Lagna, right? So I think that's good. Number 5, the revival of extreme mode. Through the recent survey, they received an overwhelming number of requests for the return of extreme mode. At the time of its closure, extreme mode was falling behind in the matchmaking pool compared to the original BR mode, and we decided to close it, believing that the fast-paced BR demand was satisfied with Akinta and Lagna. However, even back then, the development team felt regret about having to forfeit the unique enjoyment that only extreme mode could offer. So it looks like maybe in their decision-making process, and remember how I mentioned earlier that that Akinta kind of came out of nowhere? It wasn't like rushed, but I feel like it wasn't on the roadmap. It was kind of like, where did this come from? So they saw some success with extreme mode, but it was still not quite compared to actual battle royale. But they're like, dang, people like this faster paced 64 player experience. And I think what they did was, well, let's just put that in its own map. Let's just make it be Akinta, because Akinta feels like an extreme mode just as a map, right? They're like, we took this experience, and instead of like trying to implement it into Erangel and Troy, we'll put it right into its own full experience, because Akinta is pretty much just an extreme mode on its own. That's probably the philosophy behind that. That's my guess. But people still miss it, man. It was its own unique thing, because you could have different spots all over the map. You could have extreme mode. It's way up by Stulber. Oh, now I've got extreme mode, but it's way down by Quarry. Like, it's still unique. Akinta is the same map every single time, right? And there was increased loot. You had all these airdrops coming down. It was a lot of fun. It was unique in a way. And what's funny is that whereas modes, right, if you think about this as a game mode, this was still BR. Extreme mode was still ranked. You could get to Conqueror just in extreme mode if you wanted. That's why I think players did like it. And that's why so many people are requesting it to come back. Because I've been saying for so long, we need fun, actual, real game modes in Battle Royale that matter, that are a part of rank, that people care about. Not Siege mode, not Bounty Royale, not 8-player recruit mode. Like, they tried to make these other modes matter by putting leaderboards, but it's not just about the leaderboards. It's also about, like, you know, rank and having sweaty lobbies and feeling challenged and feeling rewarded when you win. They tried to make Bounty be exciting by having a leaderboard, but it really didn't matter too much. Same with Siege. I'm just shooting robots for like a leaderboard, but that didn't matter. I think these modes need to be actually in BR. They need to matter. Even putting the modes like on the maps, like Erangel or Troy, an 8x8 map. You know, for this season, we're going to put like pumpkin stuff around, that you can get loot, you know, like give us a mode, you know, that like matters. So this is going to talk about the next point too, not just extreme, but they get into a little bit more about the addition of new modes in the next point. But it looks like, thanks to the numerous suggestions they received, they are considering reopening extreme mode. It would potentially be in a format such as time-limited openings to avoid affecting the matchmaking pool. So again, another kind of restriction in order to try to keep things moving along, but at least it could come back, and that is a good sign. And what's nice about New State is they let you switch your server at any time. So even if some of these game modes are time-limited, let's say it's nighttime in your country and you can't play, and you don't mind higher ping, you could just switch to a different server, and then, you know, and it's daytime there, and then it's open. People do that with Ace League. They'll switch and play all the different Ace Leagues from like all the different servers. And if you time it right, you can play Ace League for like 8 or 10 hours straight. So number 6, the addition of new modes. One of the most requested feature has been the addition of new modes. And see, I'm not wrong, guys. I actually really think these new modes would help. A lot of people have been asking for it. And this gets at the heart of what I was saying earlier. They said that almost 75, pretty much 75% of players, 3/4 of the player base, only plays Battle Royale or cares about Battle Royale. Less than 20% really care or play Deathmatch, which is fine. I think Deathmatch is cool, but it shouldn't be the main focus. It's good for a warm-up. It's good for casual players and practicing. But they've been putting so much effort into Deathmatch mode. All these new maps, 3v3, Dead Rock, Station, Underbridge, the Exhibit Hall map. So much effort put into Deathmatch and Round Deathmatch. I think for them, they're like, these are small maps, easy modes. We can pump them out and, you know, make these updates feel good. But people don't really care about Deathmatch. And even less, only 6% of players cared about the other modes, like Recruit mode and Bounty and stuff. And that's why they're closing down some of those modes. Because people only care about BR, and that's what we've been saying. So we need content in BR. Whenever I see these patch notes and they're like, here's a ton of new content that has absolutely nothing to do with Battle Royale, I'm just like, bruh. The only actual game modes that matter, or the only actual updates that matter that pertain to Battle Royale, every update, they're tiny. It's like they added one gun customization. They, you know, added something small to BR, and that's it. A new gun maybe every couple of months. And that, like, the core Battle Royale experience is so stale right now because there hasn't been anything new other than a new map. But honestly, Lagna is my least favorite map. I think somewhere in this dev letter they referenced that Lagna, people were not matching Lagna. They were like, people are really matching like Erangel. And so, you know, if you take Lagna out of the equation, the only real massive update I can even think of that we've gotten, and it wasn't even that massive, was they expanded Akinta. But honestly, a lot of people felt like, well, Akinta was supposed to be like a 3x3 and a 4x4 to begin with, and honestly, it was only like a 2x2. So it just felt like they finally finished the map that was supposed to be done in the first place. So beyond that, I feel like there hasn't been a massive update in a while. And it was funny is regarding game modes, yeah, you know what the most fun was that I've actually had recently that I remember? It was Big Head mode on April Fool's, and that was a one-day thing. I'm like, dude, you know how much fun these modes could be? And obviously not anything goofy like Big Head mode. That was definitely weird. Kind of glad it was only one day, but it was so much fun for that one day. But imagine what they could do with other game modes and have them actually in the game for longer than a day. That'd be really fun. So as you can see from that graph, 75% of players care about Battle Royale. Regrettably, Bounty Royale, which they had hoped would become a major pillar of content alongside original BR, it couldn't stand out and it's going to be closed. So looks like they are no longer putting any effort into Bounty Royale. That's going away. They tried to make it be only real players, no bots. Some Bounty Royale lobbies were like 12 people. It was whack. So unfortunately, I did like that, but yeah, you got to give the players what they want, and that's Battle Royale. So through the failure of Bounty Royale, see, they're going as far as calling it a failure. The development team realized that even if we provide more competitive modes for skilled players, and again, was it really that competitive? Not really. It was just a leaderboard, but it didn't matter. I mean, it had its own rank system, which was kind of cool, but it wasn't as robust as the the Battle Royale rank system with gold, you know, platinum, contender, all this, all the way up to conqueror. It just didn't hit the same. It ended up being neglected by the general player base, as they say, leading to a shortage in the matchmaking pool and ultimately making it unsustainable for long-term operation. Additionally, the survey revealed a significant demand for new modes that offer variety and a casual experience. Okay, this is where I'm really nervous. I am really nervous here, and I hope if the New State devs are watching this video, this is what I would say, and maybe you guys can comment below your thoughts. That way the devs can get, everybody's opinion, not just mine. I'm nervous here. So this is good news and some cautious news. Let's read what they say. In fact, the development team is currently working on a new BR mode set to be unveiled in the early updates of next year. This new mode, staged on a new BR map, promises a casual yet deeply enjoyable experience, eclipsing Bounty Royale in scale and novelty. We are dedicating our efforts to developing a mode that can offer even more fun in the future. So I'm nervous, man. A new BR mode set on a new BR map. The reason I'm nervous is that if this doesn't work, it sounds like they're putting a lot of time and effort into another mode that is yet again going to fail. So this has to work. They can't keep making all these other modes that people don't care about while also neglecting to give us real content on BR that we actually want. What makes me nervous is that they're trying to make it casual and enjoyable, and by saying eclipsing Bounty Royale in scale and novelty. Well, Bounty failed, so I feel like they need to, what does that mean? It's going to be even bigger and better than Bounty? But if Bounty didn't work, I hope it's nothing like Bounty. I think it needs to be very different. What I think they should do, and unfortunately, I think they make every mode to be like this permanent thing. I don't think we need permanent modes. We just need content that's fun for a few months, and then when the new season comes, give us different content that's fun for a few months. I know it's kind of hard to develop so many new things and only have it be temporary. They really focus on making permanent stuff. But I think that's what we need is when I log into Troy, when I log in for the next months and years of New State, the experience needs to be fun and refreshing. Right now, playing Troy feels exactly like it did a year and a half ago. Nothing is new at all. Erangel feels exactly the same. There's nothing new. I mean, things like blue zone grenades and stuff is going to make it more exciting. But there's absolutely nothing that has really changed in BR. New State has felt kind of the same for a year and a half because all of that effort is going into Siege mode and Bounty Royale and all these other things that clearly players don't care about. The players have spoken definitively. We care about Battle Royale. Put your effort into Battle Royale. So hopefully this mode is going to do that. Promising a casual experience. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I guess in a way, if you think about PUBG Mobile, the zombie modes and the Dragon Ball modes, I think you could consider that casual. Something fun, fresh. I mean, everybody can, who doesn't love Goku, right? It doesn't matter if you're a pro or you're just, playing on your phone on the weekends for fun and you're gold ranked. I think that's something you can enjoy. So maybe this won't be that bad, but they've clearly said that all of their game modes have kind of failed. They need something in BR. The one game mode that actually had some kind of success was Extreme mode, and that is Battle Royale. So if they bring that back and they can promise a new mode that actually is something people enjoy, and it's on a new BR map, who knows what that map's going to be, if it's going to actually be a PC PUBG map. Maybe this new map coming to PC PUBG, this 10th map, maybe that's going to come to New State as well. I don't know. I really have no idea, but, trying to guess will only get us so far, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. More details about this new mode will be revealed in the second anniversary dev letter scheduled for November. So there is that follow-up dev letter I mentioned earlier. It will be coming out on the second anniversary, which is going to be November 10th, I believe. It's either November 10th or November 21st. I can't remember. It was sometime in November. So while they're concentrating development resources on the new mode, we sincerely apologize for the reduced volume in live updates. So this is something I've mentioned too, is even though these updates, aren't that great, they are small for a reason. It's because they are working so hard behind the scenes. They might have said, listen, guys, some of these things are not working in New State. Let's take a step back. Let's get to work on some huge things. And it might take time, but boom, second anniversary going into 2024. Let's make New State be this brand new, massive experience. Let's reboot this game. New State 2.0. Let's take this deep into the future and really get the big, huge things that the community wants. But in the meantime, because we're working so hard on this new BR map, I hope this new one, I hope it's a big map. Give us something 8x8. Maybe that's why it's taking so long. Give us something big. Please don't go smaller like PUBG Mobile has done. Every map in PUBG Mobile, they're down to literally a 1x1 kilometer map now with Noosa. Please don't do that, New State. Please go big. I want a big map. The community has resoundingly said they want Vikendi as the next PC PUBG map. So if you guys are working on something, I really hope it's Vikendi because that's what people want right now. Maybe even the 8x8 Vikendi that is in PC PUBG. That would be sick. But like I said, these updates are small as of now because they're working on some big things that are going to take months and months to make behind the scenes. Last but not least, the last thing is the enhancing measures against cheaters. They've heard the feedback. The punishments are not good enough. There's too many hackers. They're going to ramp up their efforts to try to take these guys down and actually ban them and get them the heck out of here. And actually, another thing I forgot to even mention, but cool little feature, death cam, death replay. Are you tired of dying and figuring out, or trying to see why the heck you died and you have no idea why? Well, look no further. The death cam will show you exactly how you died, and that can help you better plan your routes next time, or even to figure out if it really was a hacker. Did that guy just beam you from across the map with an M7, 8x, or 10x, I mean? Who knows? You'll be able to figure that out now, so that's pretty cool. And then anti-cheat measures. Rather than addressing the various questions you've raised on anti-cheat in this dev letter, we plan to provide detailed guidance through separate content. So they are planning more content, more dev letters, and all kinds of pretty cool things. Also, use coupon code NSDevLetter for 10 chicken medals, which is pretty dope. As they wrap up this dev letter, they regret that they couldn't dive into every issue and concern. But honestly, this level of communication, I think, is better than ever. To touch upon a few more points that we were able to share at this moment, we are planning various changes and improvements, including the addition... Oh, I didn't even read this the first time. Weather features, enhancements to lobby delays, crashes, and network improvements, which go beyond the subject's cover. Dang, wait. The first time I read this letter, I actually didn't even see that. Weather features. Lobby delays, crashes is a huge problem that people have, and network improvements and servers and all that stuff. Those are also huge complaints. People are like, in other games, in COD Mobile, I get 20 ping. In PUBG Mobile, I get 20 ping. In New State, I get 80 ping. Like, why is that? So hopefully they deploy more servers, really optimize these delay crash issues and weather features. What? I didn't even see that the first time. That is sick. Rain. Maybe they'll add, if they do add Vikendi, maybe they'd add like the blizzard type things, sandstorms on Lagna or something. They have all that sandstorm technology. Krafton's done it for Miramar. Maybe they can deploy it for Lagna. Maybe I'd play Lagna more if there was something cool like a sandstorm. I don't know. All in all, this is the dev letter. I know this is a crazy long video, but if you guys have made it this far, I appreciate it. I'm optimistic. I think that what's coming in New State is pretty good. We needed this. We really needed this, and this could not have come at a better moment. I think a lot of players are getting a little bit disgruntled, and this right here is going to be what's going to keep them excited. A lot of people were like, wow, I feel a lot better after reading this. I'm excited again. Let's just temper some expectations because, again, people thought that when they read this, like, it was confirmed PC PUBG maps were coming. It's not confirmed. If matchmaking improves and they think that a new map won't mess things up, then they'll continue working on it and maybe we'll get one. So there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, there's a chance. But it's not confirmed. We'll see what they do. There's a new map coming to PC PUBG. Potentially, we'll see that come down the line to New State or PUBG Mobile. I'm not sure. But there's I always like to look at PC PUBG to see what's coming down the pipeline from Krafton because that always could make its way to New State. One thing I do want to say at the end of this regarding me and this channel and moving forward, because the content and the updates recently has not been a whole bunch, I haven't been making as many New State videos, and I probably won't be able to make as many videos in just the coming months. But as some of these major updates come out, hopefully we'll start uploading again on this channel. I'll try to get a couple uploads out here and there, but I am very busy. And one thing that most of you don't actually know this is that I am, besides just being in the A squad, doing this whole channel. This whole channel is not sponsored by New State. I don't make any money on this channel, to be honest with you guys. The money that I invest into crate openings and paying my editor and thumbnails and all that stuff, this channel really does not actually make a lot of money. So I've been doing it because I love the game. I truly like New State. It's my favorite mobile game. But as a businessman and having other opportunities, I have my main channel that I have to keep running. I have a partnership with Arena Breakout to do a channel for that game. I have a lot of work to do, and unfortunately, I'm not a machine. So given that this is really just a passion project to make this New State channel, I cannot keep going with a ton of videos every single day or week. I'll try to upload whenever I get some free time and stuff, but I just want you guys to be aware that while we wait for some of these big changes to come out, new maps, new modes, balance changes, all this cool stuff that they've mentioned, I'm very excited for it. But until then, I may not have a lot of videos on this channel. But you can bet I will definitely be covering all of this cool stuff whenever it does come out. So thank you for watching this very long video. This is kind of the state of New State, as you've heard, and I'd love to see your guys' thoughts and comments. Feel free. Let it rip in the comments. Write me paragraphs. I'm pretty sure New State may watch this video. I know I criticized it. I know I have good feedback. I hope it's good feedback, but I know I have feedback. It's all good intentioned feedback. I love the game. I want it to improve. I think they've done a really good job, but there's still work to be done. And I think a lot of the stuff they've mentioned today, though, does go in the right direction. Kind of embracing PC PUBG a little bit more is what a lot of players want. Please increase the iPad FOV. There we go. That's my one thing that I really want. Dude, I can't see anything on the iPad. I feel like I'm walking around like this. Like, can you kind of widen it up a bit so I can see my character? I can't even see his feet and stuff, bro. Like, whenever I'm running around, it's like clunky around corners and walls. Like, I can barely move my guy around because I can't even see where I'm going, dude. Please, widen the iPad FOV just a little bit, please. Please, for the love of God. Anyway, that's all I have, guys, today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know below what you guys think. I'm sure if Craft On is listening to me, they are going to definitely listen to you guys too. So put your feedback below. Maybe thumbs up somebody else's comment if they have feedback you agree with. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So, woo, like 50-minute New State video. All right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.